All right, well, without further ado, we have Miss Kendall here. What we'll do is I'll take a look at her work before we actually ask her to speak about it. So give her some time to get everybody ready to hear her. So let me not put her on the spot, but we'll go ahead and start and take a look at some of her artwork. So these are some of the sculptures she's done. This one is called Daniel. This is done in 2025. This is a polymer clay and acrylic sculpture by 3 inches. And I'll let you all take a look. If you're in the gallery, it pretty much floats. So you can see each side of the actual sculpture, and then I believe you can zoom in too. You can zoom in at least on the actual photo, but I have a couple of videos as well that you can see what it looks like. But we'll take just a step back. Let's just look one more time before we move on. All right, so now let's take a look at her next piece. We'll go to the complimentary piece, Monica. This was done in 2026. This is also 3 inches, 3 by 3 by 3. This is also polymer clay and acrylic, and this is a portrait of a woman with grills. See if we can zoom in a little bit. We'll take one more look, full 360 around. All right, we'll look at also our next piece. This is room 302, box 12. This is an assemblage. This is made from cardboard, paper, and various found objects. This reimagined model of her high school art classroom where she learned to sculpt. So I thought that was beautiful and very smart in how she put all this together in a way that it reflects her, how she learned how to do the craft that we're all looking at today. If we zoom in, you can see cupboard here, a cabinet, the sinks, the actual clay on the table, even a little model chair, as well as a painting in the background, many paintings. Let's take a look at it in 360. There'll be 2 profiles for this one. And then we'll move on to her final piece before we look at 2 videos. And we'll probably, while the videos are showing, we'll let her talk about the work. This is my favorite here, Define Week. This is clay and acrylic, resin with corks in the mirror, 8.5 by 9 by 9. This is a representation of the internal conflict for Black men they face in their day-to-day life. They are often seen as targets and threats while carrying the weight of their responsibilities. The tears were incorporated to challenge the stereotype that boys don't cry. Expressing emotion is healthy and helps us understand what we are feeling and learn how to regulate them. Being vulnerable is not weakness, it is human. This piece was also the first head sculpture I created in my junior year of high school. All right, so let's take one look at this in 360 and see the tears on the face. And I love how you did his texture hair here as well. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and watch a video, pretty much just giving you a better view of some of the work. But while we're doing that, I'd like to introduce Kendall Tyrone Jenkins.
Hi, my name is Kendall. I'm also known as the Thrifty Carver. I'm a visual artist and sculptor. I want to take a moment to thank everybody for taking time out of your day to be here with us and let us share our art with you. The piece that I want to talk about is room box 12. This is, like you said, the reimagined model of my high school art classroom, and this is where I met my first sculpture teacher, Mr. Skinner, and I learned how to sculpt. So when I was little, I in the recycling bin. So I was making doll houses. I made a cardboard computer with like paper so you could change out, and I even believed I could make a car with plywood and a motor. I don't know how I was going to get that to work, but as a kid, I was just so imaginative, and every day I fight to try to get in touch with my younger self. And with this piece, I had so much fun. I had so much fun making this. I wasn't thinking about posting it. I wasn't thinking about, is it going to sell, or even trying to sell it. I just was creating and really felt connected to little Kendall. And I know that like I have this piece for me and for her. Just to kind of tell some of the my favorite parts about it. So the trash can is actually a pill bottle, and then the sinks, the sinks themselves are actually the mini jelly containers. And then so it was so satisfying to take the jelly out. It came out in one piece actually, and then to cut out the cat part and just press them in. That was very satisfying to do. And make like the books. I have a collection of found objects in my art cabinet. just of random things that I find that one day I can use, and I couldn't wait to break this stuff out. Like the bottles, the little like the bowls that you see, like the one on the table, and then the ones that are on the shelves. Those are actually lids from the little alcohol bottles. So I just kind of knows I had a lot of random buttons and pieces of fabric, and the stool is actually the top part of a wine bottle. When I was in an art gallery, we had an opening reception, and I just kind of my purse. So I was like, oh, this is like a stool. I feel like I could use this. But I enjoyed making this piece, and I think it's a huge nod to who I was, where I started out my art career. And honestly, little did I know that this is where my love for sculpting started. So just building things at every age. Which leads to the next piece, the Define Week. I'm glad I actually read that. I hope you all can go back in and take some time to look at it and read it over. I hope that it's very clear and you're easy to understand, and receptive to the message that it represents. This was my first piece that I created my junior year of high school. I base, which is it's an art competition down here, and initially I had the ears were open, and I put like the little incense cones inside so that smoke could come out the ears, which was so cool. It was so cool. Almost backfired on me because I couldn't figure out how to get the cone out, and we were in a school building. So I was like, oh, is it gonna catch on fire or what? I had to like run and pour water over them. So I was like, okay, well, forward, I think we can kind of still theme and put the corks in. So initially the smoke was to show expression of anger and blowing off steam. And the corks, it's okay, now we're gonna block out what is being told to us, what all of these narratives and stereotypes that are being placed on us, we're going to block them out. So, and the mirror is just like a reflection, being able to see the reflection of yourself. So, two pieces, the miniature sculptures, if I'm too fast, please, I talk fast.
Oh, you're good.
But the last two, Daniel and Monica, I made those more recently. So I usually started off with the life-size pieces, but because of the size, it does take a long time to produce, and I don't have all the resources. I don't have a kiln to like fire yet, so I do what I can with creating them until I can get them fired, and also wanted to provide something that is more feasible for me to do, and then also more affordable as well. So I started practicing working on a smaller scale, and with polymer clay, I'm able to actually bake the clay in the oven. So I finally graduated from the oven, and I got myself a toaster oven designated for my sculptures. So I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. But
Make your cookies now and not have to worry about it.
Yes, just separate the two. Thankfully we're all okay. But so it's just convenient, and I can get a bunch of pieces done and put them in the toaster oven, and then can get to painting them, and I can finish them a lot quicker. I love these. I think that overall, all the pieces that I submitted, I just wanted to show my progression since I started out, and starting off with getting back in touch with who I was using, and starting off crafting, and then getting into clay and making my first head sculpture, and then to my minis, which I'm so proud of. And every day I just finished another one, so hopefully you guys will see that on my Instagram. But yes, I think it's just a perfect depiction of my growth. So
Well, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for sharing all that with us, and we appreciate it, because a lot of times we see the work, but we don't know the story behind it or what's really impacting you to create these things. And I appreciate that. Before I comment on it, is there anyone else that would like to have any questions for Kendall, to understand maybe some more about some of the work she's produced? One thing that I appreciated that you said was when you did the Room 302, it kind of intent of trying to sell something. And a lot of times as artists, I made a post about, if money wasn't an object, what would we create? What would be our passion? What would be the reasoning for, or what type of work would we put out? And I'm glad you said that, because one of the things you said was, I created for the little version of me. and that's that I think as artists we all need to tap back into, because a lot of times when kids just make things, they don't make it to think, oh, I'm going to sell this for millions of dollars. No, they
Yeah.
just create because they creating. And I know for me, like outside of these shows, my wife, I think she's on now, but she'll tell you like I'm more focused on a lot of times the business side of things with being an artist, that it detracts me from the actual creating. And I appreciate you saying that, because it really brings back to mind what's the reason, the purpose for me being an artist. So thank you for that. And then two, this resonated because as a man, as a black man, a lot of times, even like bringing my son up, a lot of times, do things, and then the first thing you want to tell him is, hey, suck it up, don't cry, man about it. And that's not always the case, a lot of times and it's mainly just through what we've grown up with. Times being a man in general, I think some of my fathers probably teach us, hey, not to cry about everything. And it's some of it, it's a protection in a sense of protecting us from the world, because the world won't really cater to your feelings as much as you would like to think. And so fathers are trying to prepare them for that. But at the same time, I like it because it's like we don't really have that outlet to just let the tears come out, in a safe space with your home, with your family, with your wife, with whoever your close counterpart is. But for a lot of young men, they don't have that outlet. And so when you explain the ears, I was going to ask about the ears, when you mentioned that, it's kind of like letting the steam out. And I've seen your other work too. You've had some sculptures with the heads and lights showing through them. So
Yes.
you want to talk about that a little bit, or?
So I created that sort of collection at row houses during my art residency there, and it was a Floyd Newsom Summer Studios program, and that was like six week long residency, so it wasn't a whole lot of time but I was being bold enough to try to make three new sculptures. So I wish that I could have gave them hair and really put a lot of detail in them, but it helped focus on like the behind it. So it was called Circuit: The Power of Connections. And so I wanted to address how the people we meet and the words we hear can spark imagination and help us bring our own ideas into fruition. Just because you met someone and now you feel creative again, or now you had that idea you put on the back burner, now you want to go ahead and start it. And they were all lights inside of them. They were like little portable, I put the light bulbs inside of them, and then they all connected to one power source. So while they were connected to each other, and so they just represent everyday people. That was so much fun, honestly. To figure out how to put the lights inside, and then for it to be up for, I want to say it was up for a month. So I had to think, it had me thinking about, okay, well, if there's a light inside of it, the docents like come and turn them off, or are they going to stay on for long periods of time? So I had to think about, okay, I want the light bulb to get hot. And the first light bulb I had was a giant one. It didn't fit. And then also it was extremely hot, and you could feel before you even touch it. So I was okay, I have to think, okay, I need an LED light. And then I had to think about the wattage. And, but yeah, and I tried to also put words behind the sculptures so that when the light shines through, the words can be like projected on the wall. But I couldn't figure out how to do that. So the docent, and then I had to find Professor Miss Johnson from Prairie View, and I was like, can you help me try to figure out how to do this? And so we did our best, but I think I needed a little bit more time to experiment. But I think it came out really, really well, and the opening reception was wonderful. Those pieces. And so even I think during the residency they weren't finished. So I talked about the process with the kiln. There was a studio that I found that inspired them for me, but the drying process takes so long. You have to make sure that they're completely dry or they'll explode in the kiln. So I was, you know what? I will just leave instructions. I left the detailed instructions and a video for the docents, so they had to put Walmart back over them, just loosely put them over them, and so that they can dry. So they won't dry too fast, but it'll help them with the drying process. Also, like being in Houston, I do a lot of work in Houston since I travel a lot, but humidity. So I was like, oh, this is something new that I haven't experienced before. So they were sweating way more than usual, and I had to be in front of the window. So I was okay.
Welcome to Houston.
Yeah. So I had to, instead of wrapping them, you have to keep them wrapped so that they stay wet. But because it's so humid, it's like it needs to be wrapped as much. So I just kind of wrapped on it, and so that helped and Wilson's did a really good job with protecting everything. So as soon as I got my sculpture teacher from high school offered to fire them for me. So he fired everything for me. And so that type of clay, thank to I think her name right out, but thank you to Project Grow Houses, because she actually gave me that clay, and it's called obsidian. And so it starts off brown, it's like that terracotta color, and then when you fire it, it turns black. So I didn't have to it or anything, and I was like, this is so cool. So I started working off that bag, and she gave me like 3 bags of it, and so that was 2020. I'm still using it now, so shout out to her. You'll see her name, but
I think we have a mutual interest. I'm not sure, but she's my sensei, Rebea Ballin. But
oh my gosh, I met her. Was it her? I really hate that I can't remember her name right now. It starts with a Y. I mean a C.
We'll figure it out.
Yes. Mr. Rebea Ballin. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my friend Johnson, that's her art, and it was like, you need to go meet her when you come down there. And I didn't know that she was going to be speaking to us at one of our workshops during the residency. So I was so excited to meet her, and she helped me kind of how I was going to set up my for the reception.
Wow, that's a small world, I'll tell you that. All the way from Arlington to Houston to wherever everyone else is. But we appreciate you so much, Kendall. Is there anybody that has anything? I see some comments in the chat. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask Kendall, or just a comment about anything about the work? I know I spoke a lot in the beginning, so
I'll speak just because I'll take up a lot of time, but I wonder as she creates all of her pieces, and she to me sometimes about them. I for show her art at other places and introduce it and talk about it. But in the chat, Kendall, I just put, I'm so inspired by you right now. You just sound so wise, and I just love it. I was just so excited for you. So thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, Kelly.
Well, I want to thank all the amazing artists. Thank you, Kendall. Also, everybody give her a round of applause. We appreciate you so much for being a part of the show. I know that this is a virtual online experience, but this is something different. Most of you may not have been familiar with or attuned to. I appreciate you all for coming and supporting today and helping these artists feel supported well in their work.